All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our tech workshop today with the wonderful TechGirls team. My name is Teresa Kazelka, and I'm really excited to be joined by you all. We would like to welcome and thank all the audience for joining us today. And in a few minutes, we will start our session. But before we begin, we would like to invite you to watch the WISES Forum 2022 video that will be played by the WISES team while we wait for other participants to register and join us.
Teresa, you are muted.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much for having us to the WISES team, and we're really excited to jump into our session with the wonderful Tech Girls. Before I hand it over to our Tech Girls team, I wanted to give some background on the Tech Girls program. The Tech Girls is an international summer exchange program designed to empower and inspire young women from around the world to pursue careers in science and technology. Since 2012, TechGirls has trained and mentored over 392 teenage girls between the ages of 15 and 17 from Algeria, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Libya, Morocco, the Palestinian territories, Tunisia, and Yemen. And in 2019, the program expanded to include young women from Central Asia, including Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. We're also excited to share that in 2022, the program is expanding to support about 111 young women from 35 countries and territories around the world. The core of the program is a 27-day experience in the United States in partnership with Virginia Tech University. Tech Girls participate in an interactive technology and computer camp, and then they work with cities around the US for job shadowing and homestay and community service experiences. The Tech Girls program yields a multiplier effect when participants return home to conduct community-based projects with 5 months of mentorship. And it is developed in partnership and is funded completely by the US Department of State Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. So I'm so excited to be joined by our lovely Tech Girls alumni today. They're going to be delivering the workshop. Just so you all know, as we continue through this session, please feel free to add any questions you have to the chat or use the Q&A function. And with that, I will go ahead and hand it over to you, Golasal.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our workshop, which is Intro to Computer Science, and today we will be talking about the role of programming in everyday life and bias in computer science and things like that. So our workshop is named Coding Like a Girl. So Hello again, I'm Glassel. I'm from Uzbekistan. I'm 16 years old, and my hobbies are programming and photography.
Hi everyone, my name is Ikram. I'm a Moroccan student studying computer science this year, and my passions are computer science, advocating for diversity and inclusion in the STEM fields, and advocating for mental health too. Glad to be joining you here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ellie Graves. I'm a high school junior from Asheville, North Carolina, USA. I'm a former Tech Girl 2021, and I am now on the Alumni Council. And my passions are design and computer science.
Ellie, you're muted.
Sorry, I apologize. I will go ahead and get us started with the topic of what is computer science. I think it's an important question to ask, what do you think of when you think of computer science? I know my first thought was programming. Most computer scientists do program, but so do people from many other fields. So many astronomers program, but they are mostly interested in astronomy, planets, stars, galaxies, and the cosmos. Many biologists program, but they are programming to pursue their biological interests like cells and molecules, organisms and populations. Beyond programming, then, you might ask, what is computer science? So the formal definition, we'll head to the next slide. The formal definition of computer science is the study of computers and computational systems. I wasn't really happy with that though, because it doesn't tell us very much. I thought it might be more interesting to know what sort of things computer scientists do. So I visited the webpage of Columbia University's computer science department. As you see, these are the areas of computer science they defined. So I place the things that are fundamental to computer science, the areas that other areas of computer science are built on, closest to the center. But I have to admit my placement is sort of arbitrary. So in the center, we've got the theory. Everything in computer science depends on the work of some great computer science theorists. From there, the areas of software systems, computer engineering, networking, and graphics and user interfaces are necessary to almost every other area of modern computer science. Then there are exciting areas that are built on ones closer to the center, areas like vision and robotics, machine learning, and computational biology. Time will allow us to go through each of these, but for a taste of how exciting computer science can be, we will quickly spotlight two computer science professionals in these areas. Vision and robotics. Is there anything more exciting than robots? What about robots that can see? Heather Justice studied computer science at Carnegie Mellon and credits a video she saw in high school on rovers when getting her interest in the subject. Heather's LinkedIn job title is Mars 2020 Rover Driver. Heather's accomplishments show you can go anywhere, even Mars, with computer science. There are also lots of computer science professionals who blend their knowledge of computer science into solving problems in business and government. Jamila Parham enjoyed programming and graphics, but discovered a true love of project management, or PM, in computer science. She does all sorts of interesting things in her current role at Microsoft, but here I chose to highlight her work in the city of Chicago. You can tell that Jamila thrives on different challenges. She works with everything from literally making the trains run on time to pollution monitoring. With Jamila, we can see computer science doesn't require a narrow focus on one thing, and also that your career can evolve over time. Oh, and one last fun fact is that Jamila became interested in computer science through being a gamer in high school, something I think a lot of us can identify with. Where is computer science relevant in everyday life? In 2022, I think it's easier to list areas where computer science is not relevant. I mean, computer science is everywhere. Here are a few fields that make heavy use of computer science to show how broad computer science's relevance is. I zeroed in on some subcategories under government, But computer science turns up in some unexpected areas too, like music production, which relies heavily on computer science for creating, mixing, and distributing music. So next time you're scrolling through your favorite social app, think about which area of computer science has enabled you to enjoy it. I try to note the contributions of computer scientists all around myself. This helps keep me motivated in my study of math and computer science. Thank you for your time. I'll go ahead and hand it over to Ikram.
Okay, so we saw the importance of computer science in everyday life. And as a computer scientist, you'll be responsible for creating technology that will make important decisions of people's lives in sensitive areas such as healthcare, hiring, criminal justice. So it's really important for those decisions to be fair. But we are humans and we are inherently vulnerable to biases. And since we are the ones responsible for creating those systems, it's highly possible for human bias to be embedded in them. And that's what we call by algorithmic bias. But you may be thinking, hold on, how is that even possible? Because technology often operates in this black box, so we don't really know what happens there. And we tend to think that it's just an emotionless set of algorithms driven by pure hard mathematical logic. So there is no way that bias or those systems are going to see erased, or are we going to be biased against people? And not knowing how real and how dangerous algorithmic bias can be will actually lead to the amplification of human bias, and also will lead to exclusionary experiences and discriminatory practices. Next slide, please. Okay, so I actually mentioned the term algorithmic bias for a few times now, and you might have understood that it's something about a computer being biased, but let's look more into it. So starting with the first term, that is algorithm. What is an algorithm? So an algorithm is actually a set of instructions used to complete a specific task. And firstly, I like to think of it as similar to a food recipe that, for example, gives you the same or the exact steps to create some bread or a sandwich. Go into bias. Next, please. So I'm going to here be giving you this example. And if I tell you, what do you see in the first image? You may be saying watermelon, strawberry, slices of watermelon, something like that. But if you're like me, you won't be adding red to it. However, in the second image, you may be putting emphasis more on the color, saying yellow watermelon, white strawberry. Why is that? It's actually because of our biases. Since, for example, for me in the first picture, that is the color that watermelon should be or should have. So I see the second picture as something that is atypical, because that's something I believe as an individual, it doesn't really fit what I see as the norm. And we can define bias as a disproportionate way in favor of or against an idea or thing that is usually in a way that is close-minded and fair. And when we put those two words together, algorithm and bias, we get algorithmic bias. And algorithmic bias refers to certain attributes of algorithms that cause it to create unfair and subjective outcomes. And when it does this, it unfairly favors something or someone over another thing or person. Okay, go on to the next slide. So now we've seen some definitions, but we haven't really answered our initial question. Where does the bias come from? And how is that even possible, right? It's just software, just numbers, data. So how is it possible to have bias included and introduced to our systems? So actually, bias can be introduced and can creep in during all stages of creating a model. But we're going to be seeing today the training data part. And when I say the training, I mean exposing a computer to a bunch of data and so that it can actually make its own predictions and judgments. And within training data, we have lots of data bias, but we're going to be seeing the historical human biases and the selection bias. So starting with the historical human bias, those are actually deeply or shaped by deeply embedded prejudices against certain groups of people. And the more out-of-date data, the more those historical biases are going to creep into our systems and be amplified in the creation of the algorithms. And I'm going to be giving you the example of the COMPAS algorithm. The COMPAS algorithm was used by judges in the US to determine or to assess a defendant's risk of committing more crimes in the future. And actually, this algorithm was found to be biased against African Americans. Why is that? Because African Americans were actually found to be more arrested in the US due to historical racism and other inequalities in the criminal justice system. So these realities, these historical realities were actually reflected in the training data set, and they caused the system to be biased. So the system actually made the same wrong judgments that people do because the data was biased. And that's actually something that is pretty, it's pretty obvious, because when you take data from an institution that was, for example, full of biases and discrimination, we cannot just expect to build out a fair and just tool out of it. So that's why it's really important to identify and acknowledge historical bias in our data sources, and to also establish and foster inclusivity frameworks for underrepresented groups. Go into the selection bias. So what is the selection bias? It actually occurs when looking at samples that are not representing the whole population. And if you've ever heard of the MIT researcher and coding activist Joy Buomini, she had a research and where she created a mirror that would project aspirational images onto her face. And she's a Black woman, but the system didn't recognize her until she wore a white mask, because the training data sets weren't actually much diverse and they weren't represented the whole population. So this lack of diversity caused the system to not recognize a face that doesn't fit the normal criteria that a face has, and that was derived from the training data set. So it's really important to not only ensure diversity within our data sets and so that they can be representative, but to also make sure that diversity is within our teams too, because after all, people design the algorithms, they decide how they're deployed, they decide which level of accuracy and inaccuracy is acceptable for certain groups of people, and they also decide if the system is ethical or not. So without diverse teams and rigorous testing, it's pretty easy to let unconscious bias enter our systems. And of course, we don't want technology that will discriminate against us. We want software that will help us, that will be for us. And that's why I highly encourage you to step into the STEM field, because your voice, your perspectives, your journey are really needed in creating inclusive technology that will help and include everyone. We need you in creating those software, because if we only let a certain group of people creating the technology that we will all use, then that technology is going to only serve that particular group of people. So please do step into STEM and voice your opinions, take us to the table when these systems are being proposed, so that we can spot biases together and we can create inclusive technology that will not discriminate against us. Thank you. Now I'll be giving the floor to Gulasso.
Thank you. So computer programming is important today because so much of our world is automated. So humans need to be able to control the emotion between people and machines. So actually programming is everywhere in the modern world. It meets you in the street, your workplace, or in the local grocery store, and you interact with barcode scanners regularly, and you almost certainly use lots of code while working, whether you're working a word processor or to write a letter or use an email platform to send messages. So as an example, I chose Python. It's a programming language, which is a lot more easier to learn and to deploy. So here is our problem, and let's imagine that one company has decided to give a bonus of 5% to its employees if their year of service is more than 5 years. So let's imagine that this is a very big company which has lots of staff, which has lots of employees. So it would be really difficult to calculate the amount of bonus that it will get according to their year of service. So with programming, we can make this job a lot more easier. So actually, Python is very good at doing this. So in the next slide, you will see the example. And here is written like a code, a few lines of code in Python, which makes the problem on the last slide very much to solve it in an easier way. So we have declared a print function. So it's when print is declared, this means that the print will print out the text. So our program will print out the message of entering the salary, and the user who is an employer of that company can input the amount of salary that they get from that company. So after they have keyed in the detailed amount of salary, then the program will print out the message to enter like the year of service in that company. And after they have entered their year of working in this company, then like here is a top part where the program works. So here you can see if function here. So this means that if the years of service is more than 5 years, then it will print bonus is in the amount of 5% bonus that they get according to the amount of salary. So in order to calculate the 5% of their salary as a bonus, we use 0.05 multiplied by the amount of salary that the user has keyed in. And so that's a very easy way to calculate the percentage of the bonus that they will get. So they will get the bonus if their year of service is more than 5 years. Otherwise, the program will print no bonus. And with this way, the work of accountants in the company will get a lot more easier. So technology, as I say, technology is everywhere in the workplaces as well. So yes, and it's a very great way of calculating everything. So technology is everywhere, actually. Thank you.
These are the resources we utilize. Thank you for tuning in and listening to our presentation. Thank you to Teresa for all your help in the LYSIS team. Does anybody have any questions?
So I see a few questions have come into the chat for you all. The first one is, how do you implement computer science in underdeveloped countries where access to such technologies might be scarce? It's a good question. Does one of you want to take that first? I can go ahead and, go ahead, Golasal.
Okay, thank you. Well, in the developing countries, like we can implement computer science in a very much easier ways as well. We can use technology in education because that's the thing that most of our teachers do in their classes. And we can implement computer science in, as we said, it's already everywhere, so we can implement it in workplaces like this. We can, just as an example, use it like to calculate the bonuses, to calculate the salaries. So it's already everywhere. So when it comes to underdeveloped countries like African countries, technology can be used with the help, can be used in order to help people to become to have a better life. Like since coronavirus pandemic, it has expanded all across the world. I've heard that one company in Africa has tried to solve, has tried to register people who get vaccination in Africa using computer science. They created a program which registers all who have taken vaccination in a bit easier way. So as you can see in my example as well, so all things that the need, underdeveloped countries need today is enough professionals. So that's what exactly the TechGirls program is doing. They are inspiring women leaders in computer science all across the world. So so they are actually preparing young professionals. So I think main problem with underdeveloped countries related to the computer science is lack of professionals. So yeah, it has been solving actually. Thank you.
Can I add something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I believe that, it's all about people. And that's why it's really important for you to step into STEM and for you to contribute to actually building your country and to making it more advanced. Because, for example, as a minority myself, sometimes it's really hard to be encouraged to step into the STEM field and contribute to it. Sometimes it may be intimidating since we're not really given much opportunities and we're not really given much, just like, for example, programs, to just participate in and be able to just advance our skills and to just step into the STEM field and contribute to changing the world to a more inclusive place. So I believe that it's really important to raise awareness, like from starting with middle schoolers, high schoolers, and to encourage them to step into the STEM field. For example, the TechGirls program did help us a lot in being encouraged and in having the courage to start our journeys as women in STEM. And it was really life-changing because as a minority, I wasn't really encouraged to do that. And the Tech Girls just changed my life, and it gave me, different perspectives and new perspectives that my voice matter a lot in helping countries and helping the whole world just be more advanced and creating a better future for everyone. Of course, underdeveloped countries too. So it's really important to start with the people and encourage them, empower them, give them the power to step into the STEM field so that everyone can contribute to it and everyone can just help in creating a better future. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you both. So I see another question in the chat that is specific to the example that you provided, Colasol, and Python. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen one more time. And the question I see was, why do we write 0.5 times salary instead of 5 times salary?
Okay, that's actually a very great question, and that's the thing that I haven't covered in my speech. So thank you so much for this question. Well, actually, do you know when calculating the percentage of something, you should divide the amount of percentage by 100. So actually here 5 is divided to 100. So that's why we wrote like this 0.5. But if we write it as you said, like 5 multiplied by salary, then it will not calculate the amount of 5%, but it will multiply just multiply the salary by 5 times. So multiplying just 5 to salary is not the correct answer. So first of all, you should divide 5 to 100, and then your calculation will be correct.
Great. Thank you, Golasal. Let's see. I think I saw another question in the chat. Just while we're all here, if anyone else has any additional questions, please go ahead and put those in the chat. So the next I see touches on your intro, Ellie. It says, what is the scope of any field that links biology and computer science? So I think what they're getting at is, what are some examples of fields, or what is the range of fields that encompasses or links both biology and computer science?
That, as I explained, computer science is commonly used in so many different fields of science. It could be found in marine biology, and it's commonly used in most fields of biology. If there's a second question to that, then I'll feel free to post it.
Yeah, thank you, Ellie. And I see this is from Amna. Amna, if you have any additional questions in terms of your interest in linking biology and computer science. I see Hannah added to the chat that biomedical engineering is at that intersection. It's a great point. Okay, I see a question about becoming a tech girl that has come into the Q&A. So this is for all three of you. The question is, what is your best advice to become a tech girl? Maybe we could start with you, Ikram.
Okay, so I believe just have the passion. If you're passionate about STEM, just believe in yourself. Because I didn't believe in myself. It was when I wasn't applying. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get accepted in the program. Like there are hundreds of girls who are much better than me and who have, greater achievements. They have nothing. But I was really passionate about STEM. I didn't have like much opportunities to step into it and to start my own projects, but I was really passionate and I really wanted to step into the field and to contribute to it. So when I applied, I was just myself. I shared my story and I was true to myself. I was being honest. I just said my journey, what I was struggling with and everything, what I aspired to do after the program, and I got accepted. So I was just me. I didn't really copy anything. I didn't really write much about my achievements because I was just starting and I just talked. It was really, really a great application because I felt like I was being true to myself and I was owning my story. I was being proud of who I was and what I was going through. So even though I didn't really have much achievements, I wasn't doing great things in technology, I had this great passion and this great belief in myself that I can do it, that my voice matters. So my my advice with you, just be yourself, show your story, own it, have the passion, show it in your application, and hopefully you're going to be accepted. Thank you.
And for this question of how to be a good tech girl, I'll just quicker. So you should just apply for this program. Don't be afraid that even if you are rejected, you will be rejected, or don't think about these questions. TechGirls program doesn't segregate girls about their cultural backgrounds or things like that. I also was from a very small village, so I wasn't really expecting to be accepted by this program. But after selecting as a finalist, my life fully changed. That I become really immersed in the field of technology. So this program is very awesome. So I'll just can recommend you to be hopeful and passionate about this program. So don't feel afraid, just apply.
I agree with that. I feel like I've earned so much from this program since I started in 2021. I think it's truly changed my life. Seriously, I found my passion for computer science, and that I think that's the path I want to take in the future for college and jobs after that. And I'm just so grateful that I've gotten to make so many amazing relationships and learn my passions. I feel like it's actually helped me find myself in a way, and provided amazing opportunities for me. And I'm just so thrilled to be able to continue this. So.
Great. Thank you all. I see a question in the chat that is asking for more information in general about the program. I'm going to go ahead and send the website to you all in the chat. As we mentioned at the beginning, TechGirls is an initiative of the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. And TechGirls is a summer program that takes place in the U.S. every year. This year, we've expanded to 36 countries, including the U.S., around the world. So if you take a look at our website, you can see the wide variety of countries that will be participating in the program. In general, the program is packed with skill development workshops and interactions with America's most innovative tech professionals, as well as over 40 hours of tech camp with our partners at Virginia Tech. So it's a really wonderful program that offers rich cultural immersion, as well as an introduction to a variety of careers within the tech field. Okay, but I see some more questions coming into the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and read those out loud to all of you. Let's see. I see. For the former tech girls, what was something you discovered about yourself as you participated in the program?
Well, that's a very great question. Thank you. Well, I'm participating in this program. I discovered that I have very good leadership skills, and this program really improved my time management, my project management, and everything that every great leader should have. Yes.
I can go next. I learned that I love to network. I love, when I started this organization, I was a little bit on the shy side, but being around all these amazing girls and having such great conversations and bonding with everyone has kind of gotten me out of my shell. And I learned that I love working with everyone, and I guess working on computer science together, it's just really empowering and just an amazing experience.
For me, I actually learned that taking new challenges and embracing my failures makes me grow a lot as a person and as a leader too. It gave me the belief and the power to believe in myself and to believe that I actually belong to the STEM field, and that my voice matters a lot in STEM. And that was really important for me because I didn't really believe in my potential. And after the program, I discovered that I do have the potential. I just didn't see it in myself. And I need just like to free myself from all my old self-limiting beliefs and to start a new chapter in my life where I'm going to be taking more exciting challenges that will make me grow, even though, you know, they can be intimidating, but that's something that I really enjoy, and that has helped me grow in different aspects of my life.
Amazing. Thank you all. All right. Our next question is, to become a data scientist, what path could someone take just out of high school? So if you're interested in going into a career in data science, what should you pursue after high school?
Okay, well, I recommend you guys to start like easy programming languages when you are at school, not wait for graduating from school. Just start when you're passionate about technology. So I recommend you to learn Python, JavaScript, or you can just learn HTML, CSS, and things like that. And when you are out of school, you can apply for universities or colleges into the computer science that are specialized in the computer science. And I recommend you while you are at school to build your own IT project. It doesn't matter how big or small they are, though. The thing that matters is to put what you have learned into practice. Thank you.
Yeah, can I add something? So actually, it all depends on like the majors that your country offer. So I'm not sure about where you're from. But as Glasel said, start early and just if you're passionate about data science. I had a course on data science with the TechGirls program, and that's from where I discovered that I had a passion for data science. I'm planning to become a data scientist too, and right now I'm studying computer science, and I want to specialize, you know, later on. But I'm still studying things related to data science. So I'm taking courses online and then just trying to network with people who will be able to give me some opportunities that I can just benefit from to just make sure that my path in data science is, you know, taking its way. So I think just first just make sure to just like know what majors the universities in your country are offering, and also start early and just start, you know, looking for courses in data science and exploring the field on your own.
Wonderful. Next question I see is, what would you advise someone who just learned a programming language to do next?
I would say to keep at it and keep finding, I think you can always learn more things with any languages. There's so many computer science languages out there. I was recently working with Python and then I switched to JavaScript with my internship I'm currently in. And I found out I liked it so much better. It was just more interesting to me. So like, you can always find more to do with computer science, if that's studying a new language or finding, I know there's great courses, online courses and videos you can take. So just keep at it, and that's my advice.
My advice would be like when you're learning, when you're a beginner in a new language, you should also start, taking on some small projects so that you can practice what you're learning. It will greatly help you in the process, because sometimes learning a lot of stuff and then not putting things into practice may be intimidating and you may feel like, what am I doing? So, even though you're a beginner, just start on taking projects and try to engage yourself in different events that are gonna, for example, I don't know, introduce something about the programming language that you're studying or something like that. So just, practice things and yeah, start with small projects.
Absolutely. So the next question I see is about the follow-on project. So a portion of the Tech Girls program is, upon returning home, you implement a follow-on project, which can be on anything of your interest. Many people pursue STEM education follow-on projects where they expand upon their experience in Tech Girls and educate other people in their community, but there is a wide variety of follow-on projects. So I see someone has asked, can you give us some examples of follow-on projects? So maybe a couple of you could give some background info on your projects.
Well, okay, thank you for the question. And my follow-on project was a 3-week boot camp in my village and expose young people who are living in remote areas to computer science. And most of my participants were girls, and I managed to gather more than 90 participants into my boot camp. So right now we are working on volunteering academy, which will gather all these participants. So yes.
Okay, I'll go. So personally, I had this online initiative on Instagram and LinkedIn. It's called R2f Initiative, and it's about empowering youth and helping them unlock their big potential in STEM to create an inclusive, equitable, and sustainable world. So we basically raised awareness about different topics that are limiting our potential in STEM. Our first event was about diversity and inclusion in the STEM fields. We've actually brought different speakers and experts from the field, and they share their perspectives on the topic. And we had like discussions, just like to raise awareness about the topic and empower youth to step into the STEM field. And we're gonna be having more events that are gonna have the same goal, which is raising awareness about issues that are limiting us and just putting a barrier between us and just growing as a leader and as a future leader in STEM especially.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you all for those examples. Next, I see, are there any other initiatives or programs that any of you recommend for young girls who are interested in STEM?
Well, I recommend girls who are living in Uzbekistan to participate in Technovation Girls program. It is the initiative of the Tech Women finalist, Yelena. So it's an amazing program into computer science. So besides that, I recommend all girls who are from Central Asia to participate in Cosmo competition, if I'm not mistaken. It was something like that, and its main aim is to create an artificial intelligence robot, and it's something like a spacecraft, and to fly it to the cosmos. So these are the very good programs that you can participate.
So I think it depends on the country that you're in. So just always try to network and talk to people so that they can give you the programs that they are, for example, existing at the moment. For like Moroccan girls, I can recommend, DigiGirls, Technovation 2. They're pretty cool programs that you can just develop your tech skills and you can network with people too. And also just, for example, TechGirls, make sure to follow their page and see different programs and try to, it's hard sometimes to just find programs that are going to help you develop your tech skills, especially when you're from underdeveloped countries, but just try to keep an eye on those big programs, and always ask people, do you know a program that will help me with that and that? And just, I'm talking about my experience, and a lot of people told me, oh, this program is really good, or you can participate in this competition or that or that. And it will help you a lot to discover new opportunities and just, get engaged as much as possible.
Ellie, do you have any programs you recommend?
When I first started doing Python, I went to Coursera. That was helpful with a lot of videos. And I think that's the main videos that were helpful to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've heard that from a lot of tech girls, is that they found a lot of very cool courses online. That's a great option. All right, I see a quick question that says, does someone have to know a programming language to be a tech girl? No, you do not have to. Did any of you know any programming languages before joining the Tech Girls program?
I had a little bit of background, but it didn't matter at all. Everyone was so welcoming, and I was nervous at first, but there's no need to feel nervous. And if you don't have any prior experience, then that's completely fine.
I actually didn't. When I applied, I didn't really know much about programming languages, and they were always like, they seemed intimidating. And during the program, we actually had a data science course, and we were coding with R. And that was my first time coding with a programming language, and just, it felt at the beginning, it felt intimidating, but then it was really fun and I loved it. It was challenging, yes, but it was really, really fun. And from that time, I was like, I'm gonna start programming. I'm not gonna be intimidated, I'm just gonna do it. And I really do not regret my decision. So even if you don't know any programming languages, just start and just apply to the program. It will help you. And even like besides the program, just start. Believe me, it can be challenging, but just start, take some courses online or just see some tutorials on YouTube and just do some projects, practice things so that you can get it. And don't be intimidated, because it's pretty fun.
Yeah, the same here. I wasn't aware of any kind of programming languages, so I didn't even know what computer science is before applying to TechGirls.
So please apply for Tech Girls, even if you do not know any programming language. Okay, I see a question specific for you, Ikram, which says, what kind of data science courses do you take online?
Okay, so I'm actually just taking, for example, introduction to data science in like different websites. Yeah, like Coursera, EDX, Code Academy. So all those are really, really interesting, and you also can practice things on them. I mean, I can share with you like the resources, and you can choose, you know, just whatever course maybe you're interested in. It depends on your level, and you can choose one and just start slowly and build your knowledge, and it helps a lot. Code Academy.
Okay, wonderful. So I see a lot of questions coming in. Let's start with this one. Did you have an idea about your future studies before the program, or did the TechGirls program help you decide?
So as I said before, that I was intimidated by STEM. Yes, I was passionate about it, but I didn't know if I could make it in the field. So people around me told me that just go with the easy path. You know, it's a male-dominated field. It may be challenging. Do you believe that you can do it, that you can make it? So I always had like this belief that, oh, maybe I'm not gonna make it in the STEM field, and maybe that's just not for me. So I'll just go for the easy path, even though there is no easy path. It's all about your passions and interests. But in TechGirls, I discovered that I actually do have a big passion for STEM, and that I can make it in the field, that I belong there. So it helped me a lot in just knowing my future studies, and that I can make it in any field that I choose. STEM or not, you can make it. Just pursue your passions and with your interests, and believe in yourself. Do not listen to anyone who will just make you feel that you're not worth doing something, you know. Make sure to believe in yourself, and that's what the program has taught me. It gave me the belief. It made me see the potential that I have in myself, and that did help a lot in choosing my studies, my future studies.
Okay, our next question. I know we're coming into the last few minutes today, and there's still more questions. One is, can you suggest free resources to start learning programming languages?
Yeah, they are the same as Ikram said already. I can recommend you W3 School, which has lots of free cool stuff there, and Code Academy, Coursera as well, and edX. And I can also recommend you FutureLearn. So you can just open your browser and type free online courses on computer science. There will be lots of information on this. You can find lots of free resources there.
Okay, next question is, what are your dream jobs in the STEM field?
Well, yeah, my dream job is working at the Google company and maybe Microsoft. I really love these two companies since the TechGirls program, because we had a chance to meet with Microsoft members, Microsoft staff. So my dream work is to become a computer science.
For me, I want to work on something that has both data science and artificial intelligence. Those fields are really, I'm passionate about them. I really want something that will make me study them both and work on them both. Yes, that's it.
For me in the future, I either want to study computer science with biology, or being an open source contributor, which involves contributing to the development of the improvement of open source software. Those all sound interesting to me. I'm also, for my follow-on project, teaching middle school girls how to code. So I'm having a lot of fun with that, and it's becoming more and more of a passion for me. So maybe in the future, something along with teaching and tech. So
That's wonderful. Ellie, I'm wondering in terms of follow-on projects, just so everyone knows, if you join the TechGirls program from the US, you do not typically are not required to complete a follow-on project. However, in line with STEM education and TechGirls programming, Ellie has started to do a bit of STEM teaching. So I was wondering if you could tell us a bit about that.
Yes, I am teaching, as I said, middle school girls basic knowledge of Python. So super simple. They're working their way up to creating all sorts of apps and fun things. They started off with Scratch. I don't know if any of you have ever used that platform. It's kind of silly, but it's a fun way to learn the basic fundamentals of coding. It's like using block coding. So I would recommend that just to play around with and kind of see the fundamentals of Python. And getting back to the point, yeah, they're learning how to the basic levels of Python, and I'm having a lot of fun teaching them. It's kind of, I think it's good for me because I am looking at JavaScript right now, but it's allowing me to still go back to Python and work on both of those languages, which I enjoy doing. And yeah, it's become a passion for me to work with teaching these girls. And I feel like I have things to learn from them too. So it's helping me learn a lot about myself, and it's very rewarding for me to help them as best as I can.
Amazing. Well, I think we only have about 3 minutes left. So we want to give a big thank you to everyone who joined our session. I believe the WISES team has one more video to share with you all about the WISES Forum. So a big thank you again to everyone who joined. Thank you for all your questions. I hope you enjoyed the session, and we will hopefully be able to engage with you again. And a big thank you to our lovely TechGirls panelists for you and for sharing all of your incredible experience.
Thank you all for joining. We're so glad to meet you.
All right. Thank you again to everyone who joined. It was really wonderful to read all of your amazing questions. For those of you asking about the Tech Girls, a reminder to visit our website, techgirlsglobal.org. We have expanded greatly this year, so there's a lot of opportunities for girls around the world. So we encourage you to check there. And a big thank you to our wonderful Tech Girls for joining us today and sharing about computer science, the bias that exists within computer science, and for diving into an example and sharing your own personal experience. And thank you so much to the WISES organizers for having us.